Yeah.
But aren't those qualities really the qualities of transparent?
The isness.
The isness.
Yes.
That just come through the more transparent we are.
The more transparent you are, the more empty you are, the more you get these quality-less qualities.
So it's nothing that you could ever strive for.
You cannot strive for peace, for love, for anything. They are you already. You see? They are there already, but you've got to get rid of the idea of the one that thinks he has to develop them, you see? He has to have them, yeah.
The trick of seems like the spiritual ego is to put that in time, so that it stays out of now is all there is.
Now is all there is.
Because as long as there's growth and development and becoming, and then it can keep its little...
It keeps on, right, yeah. See, the moment you recognize that there's nothing, then everything becomes clear. Remember the paradox, the polarities are one, the duality are one? See, the moment you see that nothing is real, then everything is real to you, because everything is that same spirit, is that same oneness. You see? Nothing is separate from anything else. But as long as you think something is real, money is real, my thoughts are real, my emotions are real, you see? Then you're split. You're separating all the time. So the moment you make something real, it will own you. If you make money real instead of a service rendered, you see? What happens? It owns you. You see? The same way that if you try to own your house, then you start to worry. If you own your car, then you start to worry. What if I lose it? What does this, somebody scratched it, you know, or something happens. But whatever is, everything is loaned you. You don't own anything. But if you know you don't own anything, then what can there be that you don't own? Are you seeing here the polarities here, how they all join? There's only oneness. Yeah.
Then there's no worry.
No.
There's no fear, there's no worry.
Yeah.
If it does disappear, you don't have the heartache because you're not putting
no
ownership on
because nothing is lost. You see, this is what we have to understand. It's not that you don't worry because it's lost. Nothing is lost. You see? You don't worry because there's nothing to worry about. It's just that there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing there. Nothing is really happening, right? You see? But you have to see it, you see, because the mind cannot see that. You have to really see nothing is ever happening. Now, always something is happening as long as we think there's time and space. Okay? Einstein was so determined ever since he was a young man to find out about time and space, and it was in his later years that he experienced this as light. You were going to ask something?
I was going to ask something.
No.
Oh, were you? I keep thinking about something you said in your second script that you sent out this last week. See if I can get it. There is no purpose in, I can't remember if you said in creation or in the manifestation, purposelessness.
Purposelessness.
And you said something else, but it was the purpose of the manifestation is the manifestation.
That's right.
You know, but I was really, I keep thinking about it as you're talking. There's some kind of a...
Yeah, and something awakened in you when you heard that?
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
You see, the mind might not understand it. That is called, I don't know, we'll call it magic, but there is that it strikes with you, there is an understanding, but the understanding is not of something specific, but there is, yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah. It's not what happens that's important, but the fact that it happens and nothing is happening. No, that's not it. See, when we think about something is happening, the mind already has made up its mind of what it thinks is happening. And you make it personal, right? This is happening to me. Because remember that when we think something is happening, you're always involved. Right? Even if you see an accident to somebody else. Okay, what if this happened to me? You see? Whereas if it's happened to somebody and there is no shock in it, and you are detached, then the chance of compassion is much greater. Because you know that they're suffering and you can do something about it. But the moment something shocks you, it is personal. And that very shock prevents you from action. You see? So this is what we have to understand, that any time we make something personal, it's hitting me in one form or another, it stifles my action. It keeps me from acting in love or spontaneously from. So what is spontaneity? Okay, spontaneity means an action that is done by God. Okay, that's what spontaneity is. The child plays. Not simply because he wants to play, because he can't help playing, because playing is part of the divine action of the child. You see? It's part of the joy of being. If the child is stifled from playing, which of course he might not enjoy, and told you should do this, you should do that, blah 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 blah, okay? Go on, especially a very young child. What happens is that the child loses its spontaneity, which is his alignment with the flow of life. Okay? So to the extent that we become detached observers of what is, without personal involvement, the more we act with compassion and with love and with clarity. Because it comes through us. We're not doing anything. You see? And that is the whole point. That's what love is. Acting beyond the personal. So spontaneity becomes a flow. And that flow means that you are not there. Just like when you act with love. See, any action that has sincere love means you never did it. It was love acting through you, which is the very flow of life. You're so open to the universe that the universe is acting through you. And then there's love. But the moment the personal, even minutely, even the slightest idea, I wonder what, how should I, or maybe, oh, they're looking at me, or the slightest idea of person being there, you've cut off the connection with the I, because you brought the I into a small hole, small box.
So what do you do? Is it just the awareness of knowing you've brought it into the small that then resolves it and
that's right. You become aware, because you don't exist. There's nothing you can do. See, another thing too, which is really quite something to explore, and it's very, very beautiful. There is no doer. There's only life. You see, when you were in your mother's womb, your mother didn't do anything. All they did is just the father and the mother got together and they had intercourse. That's it. Okay? But the formation of the fetus that formed your eyes, your body formed, everything was done by was done by being, was done by it. When you came out, at that very moment of birth, according to how the whole cosmos was rearranged, determined your temperament, your zodiac sign, everything else. You see, everything is just so perfect in unison, because now you became a form. The moment you are a form, the human part of you, that human is subject to all the elements, fire, earth, air, water. You see? So therefore, but that is also being determined. And it's also determined when you're going to die. You don't say, well, I think I'm going to die. You know, when I'm 80, when I'm 90, when I'm 100.
It sounds like it's your destiny when you say it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the form, when it doesn't understand that it is God playing through the form, it has destiny. Mm-hmm. Very good. But when you understand, good, very good. Keep feeling this. But when you realize that you are really not a form, the consciousness now that is seeing, experiencing, is not a form. You can hear and see, not because you have these tools, but because you have being consciousness which is activating through the physical form. But the physical form is nothing more than an animating principle of the spirit.